Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are stepping into a very special darkness within Greek mythology, a place where not every god sits upon the radiant peak of Olympus, and not every power comes from thunder, the sea, or war. There is one goddess who does not need a throne in the heavens, does not need a mighty army, and does not need loud songs of praise. She stands where roads meet. She appears in the flickering torchlight of midnight. She listens to the whispers of the living, the laments of the dead, and even the prayers no one dares to speak beneath the sun. She is Hecate, goddess of witchcraft, darkness, crossroads, magic, spirits, and the doors that lead into other worlds. What is strange is that in a mythological world filled with powerful male gods like Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, Hecate exists as a force entirely her own, mysterious and terrifying, respected and feared at the same time. She is not the most beautiful goddess. She is not the goddess most often mentioned in popular stories. But the deeper we go into the ancient layers of Greek mythology, the more we realize one thing: Hecate is not merely a minor goddess of the night. She is like a key that opens the deepest chamber of the ancient world, where people believed darkness was not simply the absence of light, but a realm of power with its own laws, its own spirits, and its own voice. To understand Hecate, we must return to a very distant age, before the Olympian gods became the center of Greek imagination. Hecate is often considered the daughter of the Titan Perses and Asteria. This means she does not fully belong to the Olympian generation, like Athena, Apollo, or Artemis. She carries Titan blood, the blood of an older and wilder generation of gods, connected to the primordial forces of the universe. In Greek mythology, the Titans were not merely defeated beings overthrown by Zeus. They represented the powers that existed before the New Order, before the world was clearly divided into sky, sea, and underworld. That is why Hecate always feels like a goddess from a time when darkness was still young, when humans had not yet drawn clear boundaries between gods, demons, dreams, and death. After the war between the Titans and the Olympian gods, many Titans were punished or stripped of their power. But Hecate was different. Zeus did not take away her authority. On the contrary, in some ancient traditions, Zeus respected her and preserved her power over the sky, the earth, and the sea. This is an extremely important detail, because it shows that Hecate was not a small goddess hidden in the shadows. She was a power ancient enough, deep enough, and sacred enough that even the supreme god of Olympus did not wish to oppose her. She existed outside ordinary struggles for power, as if she did not need to win any war, because she already belonged to the things that could never be erased. Hecate does not rule a clearly defined realm the way Poseidon rules the sea or Hades rules the underworld. Her power lies in boundaries. And that is exactly what makes her so extraordinary. Hecate is the goddess of crossroads, gates, thresholds, and moments of transition. She is present when someone leaves their home at night. She is present when a soul leaves the body. She is present when a choice can change a person's fate. In the ancient world, a crossroads was not merely a place of travel. It was a symbol of uncertainty, a place where people did not know which path led to safety, which path led to disaster, and which path led directly into the land of spirits. It was at these crossroads that the ancient Greeks often placed statues or images of Hecate. She was portrayed with three faces, or three bodies turned toward different directions. This image was not merely decorative. It revealed the essence of Hecate. She sees every direction, every choice, every possibility. One face looks toward the past, one face sees the present, and one face watches the future. One face belongs to the earthly world of the living. One looks down toward the underworld, and one turns toward the mysterious sky. When humans stand before a fork in the road, they see only a very small part of what lies ahead. But Hecate, goddess of the crossroads, sees the entire darkness behind every path. From this point, Hecate gradually became associated with magic. But it is important to understand that magic in the ancient world was not the same as the entertaining image of spellcraft we see today. Magic was what people turned to when reason failed, when illness had no explanation, when love became obsession, when the dead refused to rest, or when a dream made someone believe the gods were sending a message. Hecate became the goddess of curses, charms, herbs, nocturnal rituals, and hidden knowledge. She was not simply a giver of miracles. She stood on the boundary between knowledge and danger. Those who called her name might receive protection, but they might also open a door they were not strong enough to close. One of Hecate's most striking symbols is the torch. In many ancient images, she carries two torches in her hands, moving through the night like a guide. This may sound contradictory. Why would a goddess of darkness carry light? But that very paradox is what gives Hecate her power. She is not blind darkness. She is the light inside darkness. Not the dazzling light of the sun, but a small, cold light, just enough for humans to see a few steps ahead while passing through the most terrifying places. Hecate does not banish the night. She teaches people how to walk through it. This role as a guide appears clearly in the famous story of Persephone, daughter of the goddess Demeter. When Persephone was taken down to the underworld by Hades, Demeter searched the entire world for her in grief. The land became barren, plants stopped growing, and the world began to fall into famine. During this search, Hecate was one of the deities who heard Persephone's cry. She carried her torch and accompanied Demeter, helping illuminate the search for the lost daughter. This image shows that Hecate is not only a goddess of fear, she is also a witness to sorrow, a guide for those who must pass through darkness to recover what they have lost. Later, when Persephone became queen of the underworld, Hecate remained closely connected to her as a companion between the two worlds. Each year, Persephone had to descend into the underworld and then return to the earth, creating the cycle of the seasons. And Hecate, goddess of boundaries, was the most fitting figure to be present in that journey. She understands the path between life and death. She understands that no spring can exist without winter first arriving. No rebirth can happen without loss. In a deeper sense, Hecate is not only the goddess of witchcraft, she is the guardian of life's most painful transformations. Alongside the torch, dogs are also sacred animals closely connected to Hecate. In ancient belief, the sound of dogs barking at night could be a sign that an unseen force was drawing near. At Crossroads, people once offered gifts to Hecate, asking her to protect them from ghosts, wandering spirits, and the evil things of the night. These meals were often offered at the end of the month, when the moon was at its darkest. People would leave food at the crossroads and not look back, as if they knew there were guests who should not be looked at directly. In that darkness, Hecate was not only a deity, she was a presence that reminded humans the world did not belong only to what the eyes could see. Hecate is also deeply connected to the moon, especially its dark and mysterious side. If Artemis is often linked to the clear moonlight of forests and hunting, and Selene is the embodiment of the moon in the sky, then Hecate is the moon when it becomes cold, profound, and unpredictable. She belongs to moonless nights, to the moment before light returns, when everything seems to disappear, but is actually changing in silence. That is why, in later traditions, Hecate is often seen as part of the triple goddess image: maiden, mother, and crone, birth, maturity, and decline, new moon, full moon, and waning moon. But for Hecate, the most important part is not the beauty of the cycle, but the power that lies in the passage between states. Over time, especially in the Hellenistic and Roman worlds, Hecate's image became even darker. Her name was invoked in magical texts, in nighttime prayers, and in stories of witches and ghosts. Those who feared magic saw her as a dangerous goddess. Those who practiced rituals saw her as a protector. This very opposition makes Hecate impossible to define simply as good or evil. She is like darkness itself. To someone who is lost, darkness is fear. To someone being hunted, darkness may be shelter. To someone searching for truth, darkness is where secrets are kept. In ancient myth and literature, the figure of the sorceress Medea is often associated with Hecate. Medea is a woman who possesses powerful magical knowledge, skilled in herbs, poisons, and rituals. She is both the woman who helps Jason obtain the Golden Fleece and a tragic figure driven by love, betrayal, and rage into terrible actions. When Medea calls upon Hecate, we see another side of this goddess clearly. Hecate is the source of power for those pushed outside ordinary order. In the ancient world, witches were often women, foreigners, people living on the margins, people who possessed knowledge society both needed and feared. Hecate became a symbol of a kind of power not granted by a throne, but discovered in solitude, forbidden knowledge, and the ability to survive within darkness. For this reason, Hecate is a strangely modern goddess. She is not a simple image of softness. She does not exist to beautify the story of a male hero. She is the mistress of her own space, her own knowledge, and her own power of choice at the crossroads. She protects the doorway of the home, but she also opens the gate to the underworld. She lights the way, but she does not promise the path is safe. She grants power, but she does not remove consequence. In Hecate, we see a more mature kind of strength, the strength of knowing that life is not made only of light, and that humans cannot forever avoid the dark parts within themselves. If we look deeper, the story of Hecate is also the story of humanity's fear of what cannot be controlled. We fear the night because we do not know what is hidden inside it. We fear death because we do not know where the soul goes. We fear great choices because we do not know what the path not taken might have become. Hecate stands exactly at the center of these three fears: darkness, death, and crossroads. But instead of destroying fear, she turns it into ritual. She makes humans stop, light a torch, place an offering, call upon an ancient power, and then continue forward. In that sense, Hecate does not only represent witchcraft, she represents the moment when humans face what they do not understand, but still must pass through. What is remarkable is that Hecate does not need to appear frequently in great stories in order to be unforgettable. She is like a shadow moving through mythology, but every time she appears, the atmosphere changes. When she is present, the world becomes deeper, darker, and more sacred. People feel as if an invisible door has just opened, and behind that door may be salvation or it may be destruction. This is why Hecate has endured so long in the human imagination. She is not only a figure from a lost civilization, she is an image of questions that still remain today. What lies beyond death? Where does true power come from? And is darkness always the enemy? Or is it sometimes the very place where we find our true nature? In modern culture, Hecate is often reimagined as the supreme goddess of witches, a protector of those who follow the path of magic, mysticism, and spiritual freedom. But if we see her only as a symbol of witchcraft, we miss her ancient depth. Hecate is not merely the one who grants magic. She is the guardian of the door before magic. She reminds us that all knowledge has a price. Every curse has an echo. Every choice opens one road and closes others. In her hands, the torch is not decoration for the night, but a question. Does the one holding it have the courage to see the truth? Perhaps that is why Hecate is both frightening and fascinating. Gods of light often give humans a sense of safety, but Hecate gives humans a sense of truth. She does not hide death. She does not deny loss. She does not erase fear. She simply stands there at the crossroads with three faces looking in three directions, as if to say that every life will one day have to step into the night. And in that night, what matters is not how thick the darkness is, but whether we can find our own torch within it. Hecate, the most powerful goddess of witchcraft in the darkness, is therefore not only a mythological figure, she is an ancient memory of a time when humans still knew how to fear the invisible. She is the distant barking of dogs in the night. She is the small flame at a deserted crossroads. She is the whisper of spirits that have not yet found rest. She is the cold sensation running down your spine when you stand before a choice from which there is no turning back. And perhaps she is the goddess humans seek not when they want to escape the darkness, but when they understand that they must pass through it. And the final question remains: if one night you stood at a deserted crossroads with no streetlights, no human voices, only cold wind, and the feeling that someone was watching from behind the darkness, would you pray to the light of the gods above? Or would you call upon the only goddess who truly knows the way through the dark? Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoy dark mythological stories, ancient mysteries, and powerful figures hidden behind the veil of history, continue to join us in the next videos. See you again on the next journey, where we will keep stepping into the most mysterious legends humanity has ever told.